Hello, and welcome to Module 3 of the AI Skills for Nonprofits training series. In this third session, we'll explore what it means to use AI responsibly, and we'll talk about AI ethics, safety. We'll try to better understand what responsible AI is, explore AI governance as well, and showcase you the Institute's own approach to AI to inspire you in developing your own AI policy. We will also look at the concept of critical thinking with the objective to better understand how to apply this critical skill when using AI. Let's dive in. What are AI ethics? Well, AI ethics are like the rules of the road, but for artificial intelligence. They help guide how we build and use AI so that it's fair, safe, and respectful. Let me give you a few principles. Fairness means that AI shouldn't discriminate. Just like we expect a judge to treat everyone equally, AI should do this too. Privacy is about protecting people's personal data. You can think of it as like keeping someone's diary safe and locked away. Transparency means that we should know when we're interacting with an AI tool and understand how it makes its own decisions. It's like being able to read the recipe behind a dish, your favorite dish. Accountability means that someone has to take responsibility if something goes wrong. And finally, safety, it ensures that AI doesn't cause any harm to any creature. It's like checking a machine is safe before letting anyone use it. But where are we now in terms of AI governance? AI governance is all about frameworks, regulations. It's like laws, but for AI. There are some global efforts, such as the EU AI Act, that is being implemented right now across the European Union. And there are also some voluntary guidelines that some companies choose to follow, such as the OECD AI Principles. However, these guidelines, they are not enforced. At the same time, there are some raising concerns regarding deepfakes, AI biases, and some other issues. And with this in mind, there is increasing pressure for stronger regulation and better cooperation between countries when it comes to AI governance. Talking about biases and discrimination, AI can reflect and even worsen human biases. We do have to keep in mind that these models, they are trained on huge datasets compiled by humans. Those datasets are likely to contain human bias. For example, if a hiring algorithm is trained mostly on data from male candidates, it might unfairly reject women. That's why we need to check whether AI works well for all groups. Now, on this slide, you do have a very clear visual representation of AI bias. With all this in mind, organizations around the world are calling for human-centered AI. Human-centered AI is an approach to developing artificial intelligence that prioritizes human needs, values, and well-being. It's about putting people first. Instead of replacing people, it should support and empower us. It's like a helpful assistant and not a boss. It's about making sure AI respects our rights, meets our needs, and helps us do our work better, especially in nonprofits. Now, let's watch this short video together to learn more about responsible AI.
Ever hear the old saying, you are what you eat? Well, when it comes to AI, that's especially true, which is why it's essential we talk about responsible AI. By providing AI with diverse, accurate, and de-biased information, we set the table for it to better serve everyone. And all that requires is a principled development mindset, one that looks at how AI will be used and how it can make a positive difference in the world. We can begin with something as simple as transparency around where AI sources information and how that information shapes its responses. Another priority is data security, establishing systems and protocols to safeguard confidential material. And by building diversity into both our teams and our data, we can help prevent inherent biases from impacting the model. As we continue to work with AI, we need to keep a close eye on it, auditing and adjusting settings, training and retraining our models. Because while AI has incredible potential, it's on all of us to use it to do good.
Let's define responsible AI. Responsible AI refers to the development and deployment of AI systems in a manner that is ethical, transparent, and accountable. It's about doing the right thing with technology. It means developing and using AI in a way that's fair for everyone, regardless of their social context, background, geography. AI is a solution to all of us. For example, imagine using an AI to screen grant applications. Responsible AI would make sure the process is clear, not biased, and that applicants' data is protected. Why do we need responsible AI? Well, according to the Artificial Intelligence Index report from 2024, created by Stanford University, the total number of reported AI incidents has grown exponentially from 2012 to 2023. That number has increased almost 10 times than 11 years ago. In this context, we need responsible AI because, like any tool, AI can be used well or poorly. Without proper checks, AI might reinforce discrimination or spread misinformation. It's like teaching a child you want them to be thoughtful, not just smart. That's the kind of intelligence we should aim for AI as well. Now, not all AI models are the same. Also, a chatbot isn't the same thing as an AI that diagnoses diseases. That's why we need different levels of responsibility depending on what the AI is doing. Think of it like handling different medicines. Some of them need stronger safeguards than others. Let's have a quick look at this video to see how different AI models, all of them in the same category of generative AI, are going to respond to a very simple question. Let's move on. How does responsible AI translate into practice? Well, first of all, we need governance. We need clear rules and frameworks that can help us govern artificial intelligence. Then we need explainability, so we can understand how the AI made its decisions. One of the biggest challenges nowadays is the actual opaqueness of AI algorithms. That is something that still needs to be improved. Next is fairness and transparency, to avoid bias and to be open about how AI is being used. And of course, strong protection for privacy, security, and safety. This is very important. To summarize all this, it's like having both seatbelts and traffic rules for driving safely. Now, please allow me to tell you more about our own journey as a nonprofit towards responsible AI. At the CyberPeace Institute, we're choosing a human-centric approach. We are encouraged to use AI tools, but with care and being very mindful. Never sharing sensitive data and always thinking about how these tools align with our mission and values. We do encourage our colleagues to experiment, to look for tools that are more accurate and appropriate to the tasks that they have to complete and their roles. Keeping in mind, though, that at the end of the day, AI is a solution to our needs and using it responsibly. With all this in mind, we did go ahead and create our own AI guidance policy. Now, this 8-page document tells us, as staff of this organization, how to best use AI, what is accepted, what we can maybe pay more attention to and be mindful of, and also how the Institute can support us in this journey of experimenting with artificial intelligence. At the same time, the actual template of this policy is also shared into our flagship program, the CyberPeace Builders. In the program, cybersecurity experts volunteer their time for free as well as their expertise to help nonprofit organizations enhance their cyber resilience. We've already done so many missions this far with nonprofits looking at developing their own AI guidance policy, starting from this template from our own policy here at the Institute. And this is a very nice collaborative effort of sharing information and helping each other. Now, let's take a step back and look at some best practices when using AI in your nonprofit. First step is to develop clear ethical guidelines. We just talked about this in the previous slide. Having an AI guidance policy in place can go a long way into helping your colleagues avoid biases and be more alert and mindful to them. It is also equally important to keep a human in the loop. Even if we're talking about automated processes or just asking for the AI to generate some text, it's very important to check all responses, edit them, and make sure that they are accurate. We're going to talk about critical thinking in just a moment. And very importantly, do offer training so people know what AI can and can do. This way you can bring everyone at the same level and all of your colleagues are going to have the same advantage as you do. Let's explore now the concept of critical thinking. As you well know now, AI learns from patterns in data. But if that data is flawed and full of biases, it can be misleading. That's why we need critical thinking. The skill to question, verify, and think things through before acting on AI suggestions. Critical thinking is an essential skill, especially nowadays in the 21st century when we are constantly connected, our social media feeds are always on the move, and we get bombarded with so much information that to some points we don't even know what is true and what is not. Talking of not knowing what is true or not, well, misinformation slash disinformation is a very serious issue in our societies today. Misinformation can be defined as false or inaccurate information that is spread without the intent to deceive. It's by mistake, let's say. On the other hand, disinformation is clearly false information that is deliberately spread to deceive people. It's done on purpose. It's very important to know the difference between these two concepts. Think of misinformation as someone getting a fact wrong, just randomly, by mistake, and disinformation as someone twisting a fact on purpose to trick you or to get you to do a specific action in their favor. On the screen, you have a clear example of AI-based disinformation generation and dissemination. An AI can look for different articles, for headlines coming from trusted news sources to produce counter articles. Then those counter articles, they are uploaded onto fake websites and they are going to be further spread by using fake social media accounts, also known as bots, to actually get more traction. It's a model that is commonly used nowadays, and we've seen this so many times, especially during election periods. AI is even capable of writing fake reviews on Amazon for specific products. On the screen, you have now another example of this. However, in this example, maybe the AI wasn't that smart because it practically exposed itself, as you can see, that's highlighted in the box on the screen. As an AI language model, I do not have personal experience using this workbook. But however, what is alarming is that AI can be plugged into different websites to generate reviews, to generate content. We can even teach AI to spew this information. And this goes back to the idea of the main data set that the AI model is trained on. If that data set is infected, if we may use this word, with fake content, Of course, then, when being asked a question as factual as possible and as well written the prompt, it's only going to spew disinformation. What disinformation wants to get from you is to reshare the content and spread it further into your network. So please always be mindful and do not reshare without asking yourself a few questions like, why is this article or video putting so much emotional pressure on me? Who is behind this? Who would want me to further share this? Because then, if you share, that might trigger a vicious circle of never ending spreading false information, and we want to avoid that. Another big challenge are deepfakes. Deepfakes are AI generated videos or audio clips that might look or sound real, but in fact they aren't. They can be used to impersonate people or spread false information, which can damage trust and even manipulate elections. Always double check sources, especially if something seems off, and do always trust your gut feeling. For example, at the beginning of last year, after a deepfake video call with their chief financial officer, a finance worker paid $25 million. This happened to a British company based in Hong Kong. 3, 2, 1. Another thing that you should be mindful of is that deepfakes have so many different potential uses. As you can see on this graphic in front of you now on the screen, according to the Artificial Intelligence Index report of 2024, deepfakes have two big categories, visual and audio. With only 3 seconds of your voice, a malicious actor can create a full conversation. And in terms of visual, someone can film themselves and then just face swap. Use your face instead of theirs to appear like you are the one sending the message. So this goes back to our own digital hygiene when we are on social media, to what we publish there, what we share, and how we set our privacy settings. Do make sure that your privacy settings are on the strictest level possible. Let's do a quick exercise. Which one of these images was generated using deepfake technology? You can pause the video, look at these images, and then I will change the slide so you can see the results. And yes, if you answered image number 2, that's where deepfake technology was used to generate this image. Image number 1 is the original person, and you can see how in image number 2, the face of another person was swapped with the face of the actual person in image 1. Let's watch this video together now to maybe try to spot the difference between the original video and the deepfake generated video.
A clear message that we get from the proceedings in America is that after all the toings and froings and all the, I'm not really Boris. This is an AI generated video showing just how far technology has come in recent years. It means we all need to be careful to check the authenticity of what we see and hear.
Considering all this information, why do we need critical thinking? Well, we do need critical thinking, especially when working with AI, because AI systems might not be the most accurate at all times. We need critical thinking to double check AI's outputs. AI doesn't have common sense. It might make suggestions that sound confident, but are wrong. That's where we come in, to apply judgment and ethical thinking. What are the components of critical thinking? First off, interpretation. Interpretation is about understanding what something means. It requires grasping the significance of what is presented and articulating it clearly. Second is analysis. It's breaking more complex idea into smaller parts. It involves examining these different smaller parts, identifying patterns, and understanding the underlying structure. Next up is synthesis. Synthesis is about combining ideas to make new ones. It requires integrating various pieces of information to create new insights or understandings. And finally, evaluation, which is very, very important. Judging if something is true or fair is like being a detective, asking questions and looking at the whole picture. It involves making judgments about the quality and relevance of the content that you're consulting based on well-established. How can you practice critical thinking? Well, first off, critical thinking is all about not blindly trusting technology and asking the right questions. For example, you can ask yourself, is this information accurate? Who benefits from this decision? What's missing from this data? And always talk to others. Different perspectives help us see the blind spots that we have ourselves and make better decisions. Going forward, it is paramount to always ask questions and don't accept AI's results at face value. Ask why, how, and what if. Reflect on whether the AI system is favoring or overlooking certain people or perspectives to avoid bias. Look at facts, data, and context before making a decision based only on AI output. And do talk to other colleagues, especially those from different backgrounds, to get a fuller picture. And check if your own assumptions or the AI's might be leading to a narrower or flawed view. All these are really concrete steps that you can take as of today to double check the output that the AI generates for you and to make sure that if you decide to use that output, you can do it safely. Now, let's take 10 to 15 minutes to do this interactive exercise together. This exercise is about fine-tuning your critical thinking skills. You can pause the video once we go through the scenario and the questions. We have the following scenario. An AI hiring tool recommends not interviewing a candidate because their profile is flagged as low potential. However, the same profile was flagged by a human colleague as matching most skills wanted for this job. This colleague is now on annual leave and you cannot contact them. What do you do? Now it's time to practice. Here's a scenario. An AI hiring tool says not to interview a candidate, but a colleague had flagged this person as a great fit before going on leave. You cannot contact your colleague, however, you do have the option to take the candidate forward for the interview or drop their application altogether. What would you do? You can discuss either in small groups or address these following questions individually. Do we trust the AI? And if you do, why and why not? What more do we need to know? To whom can we go ask additional questions? Should we do any additional research and maybe check with other organizations if they had the same experience with this AI hiring tool? And what other information do you need before deciding? Now it's up to you. I hope you'll enjoy this interactive exercise. You can pause the video now. Thank you. We all have to be mindful that AI is evolving very fast. We're now getting even further in terms of AI tools that can create top-notch videos, audio recordings, even virtual environments. AI agents can automate full processes and act independently. AI might soon handle more than complex tasks. They might run on everyday devices like phones and watches. And we're starting to see that with applications like ChatGPT or Copilot that we can also download on our mobile phones. As this happens, we need to keep asking ourselves, how do we balance innovation and responsibility? How can we ensure that AI will act as a co-pilot across professions, working alongside humans in healthcare, law, and creative fields? As we are getting closer to the end of this training series, I would like to share with you some key takeaways. First off, AI is a solution. It automates tasks, analyzes data, and generates content for us. But it relies on human guidance and oversight. That's why it is very important to ensure that we use it accordingly. Second, the better your prompts are, the better the AI response. Clear, specific, and structured prompts improve AI responses. While there is no ultimate prompt, experiment with different wording, context, and constraints to get the most useful AI output. It's a skill that we develop by practicing. And third, question, verify, and decide. Always evaluate AI answers critically, considering fairness, transparency, and ethical implications. Sometimes AI answers can reflect biases. It might make errors or lack context, So human judgment is essential. Always use your critical thinking skills and use AI wisely. Even though we are at the end of the AI Skills for Nonprofits training series, don't worry. There are so many other resources out there waiting for you to explore and use to enhance your AI knowledge and skills. For example, please do make sure to check out the AI Skills for Nonprofits and the Digital Skills Training, and to learn more about empowering responsible AI practices from Microsoft. Also, I would like to encourage you to try LinkedIn Soft Skills Training, where they also explore critical thinking skills. And finally, please do go and read the Stanford University Artificial Intelligence Index Report 2024. My name is Alex, and I was your trainer for these short sessions. I do hope you enjoyed them, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.